Fear is the mind killer. This is David Stewart, dbspress.com. I am the Everyday Skeptic, your friendly neighborhood thought criminal. What I want to talk about today is fear, and how fear is used to manipulate you. There's four basic emotions. Or there's like more emotions than that, but there's four basic ones. Sad, mad, glad, and scared. And the most powerful of these is scared, at least when it comes to affecting people and, more importantly, getting them to do something. Because the whole point of rhetoric or anything where you're trying to convince somebody of something is that you want to alter their behavior somehow. Which is why it's important to be a skeptic in general, because you don't want to alter your behavior in a way that's going to hurt you or isn't going to benefit you and cause you effort, things like that. But if you think about from like an evolutionary perspective, there's a reason that fear is the strongest emotion when it comes to getting people to act. If you imagine like your caveman ancestors just hanging out, they're at the watering hole and out pops a bear. Now they can either try to punch the bear, which now we'd be like, that's insane and brave, right? Or they can run away from the bear. Now if they run away from the bear, they survive to pass on their fearful genes. Fear inspired them to move, run away, which in turn allowed them to pass on their genes. So evolution tends to favor those genes, which promote survival, and fear is a big one of those. Herd animals have a fight or flight response because that's what allowed them to survive and pass on their genes. Humans have similar responses to fear. That's what allows us to survive and pass on our genes. This emotion is stronger than the others when it comes to getting people to act, because if you make them feel happy, then they're probably more likely to not do anything. They're probably just okay feeling whatever they're doing is good. If you get them to feel sad, that isn't necessarily compel them to do something, like make themselves stop feeling sad. Maybe it compels them to take a mood-altering drug, but not too much when it comes to the way of like acting immediately. And angry will get people to act pretty immediately, because anger is another one of those emotions that if you get angry and you beat somebody up who's trying to be with your mate, then that eliminates their gene set from competing with your gene set and allows your genes to sort of propagate. So anger is also like evolutionarily favored, but not as much as fear, because fear really promotes survival. So what does this have to do with sophistry and with rhetoric? Well, most powerful kinds of rhetoric are going to invoke fear. The whole point is to invoke emotions, and the more you're able to tap into people's emotions and affect them and make them feel emotions, the more likely they are to act and change their behavior in the ways that you want them to. Fear is the best one. And if you go and you just, you can open up any news website, open up CNN.com, open up New York Times or something like that, and see what emotion the articles are really trying to convey. And it doesn't matter what it is. If it's like North Korea, you know, Kim Jong-un threatens to blow South Korea off the map, threatens mass vengeance for any kind of intervention. The reason that grabs your attention is that North Korea is threatening you, which should make you feel afraid, right? To have a fear response. Why does the news want to have you have that fear response? Are they trying to alter your behavior? Well, in a way. On one level, they are politically motivated to get you to alter your behavior, alter your vote, so that the people that they like can be, you know, elected or put into office, put into power, whatever you want. But even more than that, the more compelled you are to read the news and read the news story, the more likely you are to come back to the site and read more news stories. So there's a reason you turn on like Fox News and it's nothing but like doomsaying, or you turn on MSNBC and it's like the Earth is going to end from global warming and the economy is going to go into a free fall and this is going to happen and that's going to happen, or it's time to buy gold because the economy is going to collapse. All of these things are invoking a fear response to get you to do something. And that's a time when you need to be extra critical and extra skeptical of what's being presented to you, because that fear response is so good at affecting you. Whenever somebody's trying to use it, whenever you feel fear and you're not in an immediate danger, like if there's a guy coming at you with a knife, fear response is good. You don't want to be like, oh my God, what should I do here? It's like, okay, I need to negate this threat or run away from it. That should be your proper response if a guy is coming at you with a knife. But when it comes to reading a news story, there's no immediate threat to you from reading the news story. So you have to stop and be skeptical and really think about what they're trying to tell you. And there's a lot of products that try to sell you on fear. There's a lot of little subcultures out there on the internet and on YouTube that are trying to sell you on fear. You know, if you keep eating eggs, you're going to die of a heart attack. You know, that was another one. It's like, eggs are as bad as smoking. And you see that like particular thing there, and you're like, uh-oh, I better read this article and read about how I'm killing myself with eggs. Or, you know, vaping is going to kill you just like cigarettes are, whatever the claim is. Makes you afraid for your own self, and that's going to get you to alter your behavior, hopefully in a way they want. The anti-tobacco, quote, anti-tobacco, which is now like an anti-vaping lobby for the California government, constantly has these anti-vaping ads come up, and it's like, are you trying to get people to smoke or what? You know, but the point is they're trying to use fear to sort of get you to alter your behavior, to get you to stop doing a thing they don't want you to do, or start doing something else that they don't want you to do. Buy one product instead of another. You know, buy dairy instead of eggs or something like that. Whatever it's going to be. So that's when you want to use your skeptical filter. And when people are really trying to make you feel afraid, and whenever you feel afraid, that should be a clue over to that logical side of your brain, the other side of your brain, your logical self, your reasonable self, that you need to have a conversation with your emotional self and figure out whether that fear is really justified and it should be backed up and is reasonable and is likely to happen. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out my websites, dvspress.com, davidvstewart.com. Let me add on at the end, I might be working on a nonfiction book this year because a lot of people have been suggesting it to me. And that might be called Everyday Skeptic. I have a couple of articles to that, so I'm going to be trying to sort of bring some of that content back in to the video format and see where we can go with that conversation and begin sort of plotting what that nonfiction book would be. I appreciate all your feedback. You all have a great day.